Hello, it's Mumin. It has been a very long time we didn't make video topic about the science. So hereby today I decided to make. So I think most of you already watched the movie Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, which is released last year, and it's about Spider-Verse or Multiverse of Doctor Strange. So in the movie of Doctor Strange, in the beginning we can see that he is walking he's dreaming that a copy of himself is walking from some beast, and he feels that he has a nightmare, but it comes out the copy of himself is his reality in the other multiverse. So some of you just enjoy the movie, but why people thinking that there is a multiverse exist? So behind this, in the physics, there is a lot of theory of the multiverse, and then a lot of scientists, they believe to that. So here I try to explain how, and I try to make it as simple as possible. So when we go under the sun, when we put our hand, the skin under the sunlight, we feel a heat, but we don't feel it's burning or getting like barbecue. But when we have a special optical glass and we put our hand, it will burn. It's able to burn a paper. Maybe you have played when you were kids, or still you are playing, some of you. Or maybe it can burn something else, or you have seen, or we see that in internet. Some people, they try to practice to take a very big optical glass, and then they try to melt the metal, and it's possible. So have you think that why when I put my hand just normally like this, it doesn't burn, but when they put the optical glass, it's able to burn or melt the metal? So what does the function of the optical glass? So the optical glass, it collects the original photons of the sunlight. So sunlight comes to us through the space, the photons, and goes through our atmosphere, and it separates with its own shadows, so we feel it's equal, and then our temperature is stabilized and we don't feel burn, which is our atmosphere will block a lot of that. So it means that every one photon of the light, it has so many shadows or copies which is unable to burn. So only original photon are able to burn, which we collect them all are together. So that optical glass does, it collects all original photons, separate from the shadows, and it's able to burn the object. Okay, so what I just said, original photon and its shadows, or they say electrons go through the space, and then space will block half of the electron, and then electron will go through the space, through the boundary of the space, and then it will separate in the other form, and then endly they will go, and then they will divide it in the other form too. So hereby means that every electron and protons, it's from the atom. We are from the atom. The universe, the earth, and everything in this space and the land are consist from the atoms. So they think that if the atom has original and has its shadows, so which everything consists from the atom, it has to have double or more than double or a lot of verses of that. So hereby the theory of the multiverse come from. But why we can have the theory but we can't see it? As a lot of people, we like to believe what we see in our eyes, with our eyes. So from the Big Bang, from the starting of our universe until now, what reached to our eyes through the telescope is a 13 billion years plus. So more than this, it didn't come yet. It may come or not, we never know. So if multiverse if exists, it is beyond this starting of the Big Bang. So when Big Bang is started, it become big, and then it should be beyond that. That is what theory of the scientists. But me personally, I have another idea of mine through of my philosophy. Perhaps we don't have our copies like what I'm saying sitting here, and my other version of me in the other universe sitting and doing something else, or he doesn't speak in English, or they have their own language. It can be anything, but it is not what I think. My thinking is a little bit different in my opinion, because we believe to our religion. So here I will explain. Okay, as I said in the beginning, that we believe for what we see. So if 100 years ago or 200 years ago, what I'm recording this video now, if anybody saw that what I'm doing it, they thought it's a miracle, or they would shock, because they were not ready. And slowly human beings start to learn something new and create it, and we start to accept it, and then our eyes saw that and we believe. So a lot of people claim that until today I believe for what I see. What does it mean? We are believing in 3 dimensions. However, you're watching me in 2 dimensions in the screen of your phone or computer, but still we are in 3 dimensions. So you're watching me in 2 dimensions. It's a flat in your screen, but in your imagination you know that my head it's round, because you have seen it as a human. So the what you haven't seen, you can't have imagination. I bring you example. For example, X-ray. You have an X-ray film. You can see the X-ray film that the bones, my skull, it can be my shoulder or my ribs. But this X-ray you can't see by your eyes. The X-ray is a light which goes through our body and films to the film. So our bone is covered by muscle, tissues and tendons, but X-ray can go through and then can capture the bone, and that we can see it. So it's a very wrong in my understanding or in my opinion for people who says that we believe to what we see. So those people are far from the science. I wouldn't say religion, but they are far from the science. There is a lot of gamma rays or any other lights or rays that our human eyes can't detect, but they exist, and then scientists, they created a lot of machines or tools that can detect those things. So perhaps in the future we can detect something else out of this, that then we start to believe. But for today I will give a theory of this. So just now I said that the time there is a life is in a 3 dimension. So what is dimension number 4? What most of the scientists believe, and what I also believe, is a time. What kind of the time I'm talking about? The time what we having in this land, which is now is ticking, is going, is the time what we used to count. Like if we have a day, we have a night, our earth spinning in its own axis and around the sun, that we can have calculation of the day and time and etc. So the time what we having in this earth, it is not equal to the near to other object. So our earth is this much, the sun is that much, what we know. There is lot of stars and the planets which is more massive, doesn't matter it's a small or big. We talks about the mass. So the size doesn't matter. It talks about the massive. For example, if a very massive planet, which is very smaller than our star, but they are so massive that the gravity of the star able to slow down the time what we are get to use. So it means that I'm 30 years old now. If I go to that star, I will be much more younger and I will get much more late older comparing to this earth. So there is a more massive than this, the black holes, which is able to freeze the time, and then scientists, they says that it could be able to go through the black hole to travel the time. And there is one movie also talks about that you will go into the sixth dimension, and then there is a possibility of the traveling through the time. So this is all fantasy and theory. Some might be right, some might be wrong, but what I think that's true is the bigger massive objects are able to freeze the time until it become internal. So it means that they were from the beginning same, and until the end they will remain the same. So in this theory, what I'm saying, a lot of physics scientists believe, and I also agree with them. So our religion also, in my opinion, I agree with this. What kind of religion I'm talking about? It's talking about Islam. Islam have a lot of similarity with the quantum physics that agrees with the some theory of what scientists, the non-Muslim scientists, they said about, but this is were captured 1400 years before, which is, as I just said, if 200 years before, if people see what I'm doing, they would get shocked. So people, they were not ready to accept the science in that time, so it come to them in the other kind of understanding or explanation that until today we're trying to discover. And there is lot of things that perhaps in the future and our next generation will be able to discover this. For example, when we talk about the space, which is so large, which is so big, there is, for example, the speed of the light 300,000 kilometers per second, and then with this speed the light will reach from the sun to the earth in 8 minutes. So if sun off now, after 8 minutes we will not see the light anymore. So however it is, our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, how he explained to people what is distance between heavens and the earth. So means heavens and the space. So narrated by Abu Huraira, and it's in the book of Sahih Muslim, the number of hadith 164. Between heavens and the earth is 500 years between each. So we don't know, is it 500 light year or 500 years, which is more faster than the light. It can be anything, but however it's a very big space what our beloved Prophet, he tried to explain to his companion about the between the heaven and earth, between earth and the skies. Okay, so, and in the other things, the surah of Al-Isra in the Quran, Juz 15, the surah number 17, and the ayah number 12. You can search and see. There's Allah, he says to us that he created the moon and sun and the earth for us to be able to calculate our time and to have our daily life in lifestyle, and then he managed it all. So what Allah tried to say is that he created, in my understanding, he created the moon and the sun and earth, that we can have a day and night, and we are able to calculate the time what we have in the earth. So it talks about only the earth and calculating all the time. It is not the time what is in the other place. So it's in the heaven, it should be different. As I said, it can be internal, or it can be very slow, or it can be anything else, but it's not beyond, it's not in our imagination, it's beyond our imagination. It is a very different thing, but we can think about it. So hereby a lot of the Islamic scholars, what they give a consultation to people, that you try to be righteous one, because the punishment of the next life is much more longer, which is can be 1,000 years or million years, and most of you have heard about it. So now you can have a conclusion, or you can have opinion that what they are trying to talk about. So about earth, and this is different. So I think I went a little bit far from our multiverse. What is my opinion about a copy of us? In my opinion, there is not copy of us, there is a soul of us. So it's another hadith that narrated by Anas bin Malik. He narrated from Prophet, peace be upon him, in Sahih Bukhari, the hadith number 1145. When we sleep, it's look like we dead. So Allah will take our soul, and then when we wake up, He gives back our soul and He resurrects us. So how to understand it? Is it like when you sleep, you just close your eyes and a few hours later you wake up and everything is, you refresh? All of us, we know that there are dreams. For example, in your dream, what Dr. Strange he saw in his dream, in your dream also, you also travel somewhere, places that you've never been, or you speak in some languages that you never spoke. But in the short of period, sometime when you take a nap inside the bath going to the work, you will see a very long dream. But when you wake up, you immediately forget. But sometime you can capture your dream, then you will wondering about your dream until you forget it. So that is talks about what we says, but it's not. But of course, you, in my opinion, you are not going to see your other alternative version. So you will see your soul traveling in your other shape of your form. So we are physically what we feel pain, what we eat, what we drink. It is not. It is the different form of the life of ourself, which is separated from our soul. And in the other thing narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas, that there is the companion of Prophet, peace be upon him, Thayyib bin Qais. Thayyib bin Qais, he was not believed to some revelation of Quran. Then he went back to his home, and then he dreamed himself as a shape of the woman. And then there is a lot of stories that what he did, what he happened, and then it was in the very short time of period when he took a nap, and he saw a lot of dream, and then he come and he narrated to our Prophet that he did this and this and that, and he start to become righteous and he become believer. All right, we come back to ayah or the surah of Al-Isra. So in the beginning of Surah Al-Isra, Allah he said that Allah is a very pure, that he was able to travel his prophet, means Muhammad, peace be upon him, from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. So this is a Mi'raj night, what we all Muslims we know about it. So our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, he traveled from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. So first he went to Medina, and then he did his praying, and he went to Masjid al-Aqsa. On the way he saw the Musa, which he was praying in his grave, and then later he met him again in Masjid al-Aqsa, and then all of them they did the worship together. And then our Prophet, beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, he Gabriel, he took him to the heavens. And then when he went to the heavens and he started to meet in each layer of the heavens the prophets again. So if we can think about, firstly he met him in the grave, and then later in Masjid al-Aqsa, and then later met them one by one again in the heavens, and then he spent time to see condition of the disbelievers to the hell, and then condition of the believers in the heaven, and then he went and he talked with the Almighty Allah, and then they negotiated the some things and the prayer, and he come down again and he talked with the Musa again, and he went back. So this is when we think about it, talks about a long time, and then we can think that how can Musa can be in a grave same time in his grave masjid and in the heaven and the earth, and they're able to talk. And then all this story happened between night prayer and morning prayer, which could be 5 hours or 4 hours. Allah knows the best, but it's a very short period. Happened a very big story. So why I believe to theory of the physics by storying you this, because it's impossible in 4 or 5 hours to travel all these. But when we think the theory of the space and the time, so means that is possible. So he could goes to the heaven, and in the heavens he could have that time, that frozening time or eternal time. He can spend all the time over there, and then without getting old he can come back to the earth, and then he can narrate it to his companion, and companion of him believe that what I'm believing because I study the science, and it is my own opinion. So when we talk about the Musa, what he meet in here, in there, and in the heavens, it also what it shows that it's about soul. What we're saying about our copies in Multiverse, it is not our copies in Multiverse, it is our own self in the other, not Multiverse, in our other space. It can be in the heavens, or it can be in other place, but not in that shape. In the shape like what we're eating, what we feel pain, it is in the other shape, and we believe that, and Allah knows the best, and that is my opinion. I'm not talking about their religion. So however, what we believe to the dream, if you have an ability of thinking to believing to the dream, so basically you also easily can believe to the theory of the quantum physics, which is Islam's also very gives a close examples that those are possible. People who heard about the traveling to the time of our Prophet, peace be upon him, they said he is a crazy. There is only one person, his name is Abdullah, and we know him as well Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. He take his nickname as Siddiq because he said if it comes from the mouth of a Prophet, peace be upon him, he doesn't lie, I believe him. So his iman was so strong, he was a very righteous person that he believed to that. Comes to our time, if we don't believe to this story what happened, we will be a big sinful comparing the other people who didn't believe, because scientifically we are going through this. If our prophet, beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, who disbelievers claim he's a liar or he's a crazy, imagine if he start to speak about the soul, or if he start to speak about some physics that the earth is like that, stars is like that, what is true, people they would get him more crazy, or never, or they could say something else. But our Prophet, he made it very easy. He explained it in very easy way that imagine when you are sleeping, it looks like you're dead. you dream, so your soul will be taken and it will be given back. So the best miracle our Prophet, peace be upon him, he left behind him is a Quran. So as I give the example of Surah Al-Isra, so a lot of examples inside the book that we are not discovered all yet, and I believe soon or far future we will discover, or next generation after us who will come will discover it. So what I try to talk about the quantum and philosophy in Islam is very much, and it was my opinion. Thank you very much for watching. Please support and try to explain and then pass this story to your friends who might like. Thank you very much.